Hello, guys, and welcome to Signature Maneuver, Grimworks Wrestling Podcast. And this is episode 22. I know last time I was saying 20 a lot, and I got all mixed up. But my name is Roman, and Jose and Brian are out today just because they have some personal issues to take care of. But I decided that I should at least talk about some wrestling because there was a lot this week. But what I do want to uh, go over first is we actually have a comment from our last video, and it's from Mars. Who will win Money in the Bank on Sunday, both men's and women's? So we already know the results of that, and I'm not sure who actually had that right to begin with. Um, I know I was completely wrong. I know I had said I thought Charlotte was gonna win. Completely wrong. And I said Nakamura. I think I'm not too sure, but you can go ahead and hear that last one. But what we are going to do is start off with Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. We'll start off with a kickoff show, which was the Hype Bros. So Zack Ryder is back with Mojo Rawley, and there was some more stuff that happened on SmackDown. We'll get into that later. But they fought the Colognes, or yeah, the Colognes. So it looks like I don't think I actually saw that one, but I believe they won. So that's good. Then we had the women's championship, which is Naomi champion versus Lana. That was an okay match. Wasn't anything too great. You can tell that Lana still needs some work, but um, actually this time, and I know I was talking shit about it last time, but this time Lana maybe set up her finisher a little bit better. So I liked it. It looks like she was taking control of most of the match, so that was good. But Naomi still won. And then we had the tag team champions, the Usos versus the New Day. The Usos won. The one thing that I want to address there is it was a good match. It honestly was a great match. Um, I liked the way that the Usos are just like they had a total heel win where they took the count out. So they weren't going to lose the championships. I was completely fine because it still made the New Day look strong to me. Now, the WWE Championship, which was Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton. Jinder actually retained. We should have known this just because it's in St. Louis, and every time, and Randy Orton's from St. Louis, so every time a wrestler is in their hometown, they're 99% going to lose. Does not matter. Even if it's somebody like Randy Orton, which I'm okay with, because we'll get into that in a bit, but the women's Money in the Bank ladder match: Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Natalia versus Carmella versus Tamina Snuka. Um, I'm sure we're gonna talk about this more next week with the guys, but when it comes to this match, I was completely fine with it. Um, I'm glad that Carmelo at least won in quotes because it looks like what's that dude's name? James Ellsworth climbed the ladder, got the briefcase, and just handed it to Carmella. So they just ruled it as Carmella won, and we're gonna get back into that with SmackDown. But as of that, I'm completely fine with it. I know people were losing their shit, and I'm sure Jose or Ryan are gonna have something to say about it. But as for me, I was fine with it. And then we go on to the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men. And it's AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin won it. So I believe Jose had it right. I I actually like Baron Corbin. Other than his goddamn hair, I keep talking about it almost every time. He's fine. He needs some work, a lot of mic work, to be honest with you. But his wrestling's okay. Nothing too bad, honestly. But when it comes to his actual mic skill, that guy needs some work. So we're gonna have to see what goes on there. So that was pretty much Money in the Bank. We're gonna go on to Raw, and Raw had some interesting segments. To be honest with you, the first one was Roman Reigns coming out and announcing he's going to beat whoever it is at SummerSlam. So if it's Samoa Joe or Brock Lesnar, he's going after the title. So same thing. You know, it was uh, it was okay. Whatever was Reigns was saying, but it started really getting good when Samoa Joe came out, and I think Reigns referred to him as just a guy named Joe, and Joe got pissed off about that, headbutted him. I love that he has the headbutt. Like, that's his thing now. He's just like, all right, fine, whatever. And he just headbutts you out of nowhere. So I really like that. And it was a good segment. I liked it. That set up a match for later on in the evening, so that they had a match. Let's see what else happened. Oh, the Finn Balor interrupts Elias Sampson, and that led to like that might be a feud between Elias Sampson and Finn Balor. So I thought that was actually cool. It looked fun. But Balor was supposed, did fight Bo Dallas, and it's good just to see Bo Dallas because I like him and I like the kind of heel the heel's playing. You know, he attacked Finn before the bell rung, and then as soon as the bell rung, got back on him. So I like that. Bo, I'm just glad to see you on TV because I think you're good. I think you should be with your brother, but that's about it. Then Seth Rollins has a, WWE 2K18 announcement where he's going to be on the cover, and he is going after Bray Wyatt. It was just the same thing. Uh, them saying that Bray's a god and Seth is a Kingslayer, and they're gonna fight. And that's pretty much what it was. Then we had Akira Tozawa and TJP. So Akira Tozawa is having some really good segments or some good kind of promos with Titus O'Neil. I didn't think Titus O'Neil was good at anything. It turns out he's a good hype man. So it was just a really fun match between them, and it seemed like it lasted a good while. It seemed like they gave the cruiserweights a good shine, and Neville came out and was staring down uh, Tozawa. So I'm glad that that's going somewhere. Um, just because I would love to see Tozawa take on Neville. I think it would be really good. But then they had the Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe match, and guess who comes back? Braun. So Braun's back, and they're going to. They basically uh, distracted Roman. Samoa was able to get the Kahina clutch, which was awesome. He got the win. They're still making him look very strong so that he can fight Brock Lesnar. And I have no doubts. I say, man, I want Samoa Joe to win at Great Balls of Fire. Stupid name, by the way. But at Great Balls of Fire, they did set up that Braun and Roman Reigns are going to have an ambulance match. So you gotta beat your opponent, strap them to a gurney, and then you gotta put them into the ambulance and close the doors, and that's the end of the match. So it's like a casket match, but with an ambulance. So um, it's so um, it's so silly, but I love it. So I'm actually gonna watch that match, and I think I might actually enjoy it. Other than that, Miz tried to recruit Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas into his entourage, which I'm completely fine with. The way that they did it was terrible. That whole Miz TV and Maurice segment was terrible, but I'm glad that Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas are gonna have something to do because I think they're good, and they were good with the Social Outcasts, so I would like to see them again. And that was pretty much it. Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil had a match with Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro took the win. So yeah, It's cool to see Apollo get some more airtime because he needs it. And honestly, I don't hate Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews as a tag team. I don't think they'll ever win the tag team championship. It kind of sucks. I would like to see Apollo and Tozawa as a tag team, but since he's so grounded in the cruiserweight, unless they change that, he's gonna stay there. Um, Other than that, Sasha Banks and Nia Jax had a match, and it just kind of devolved into whatever. I don't know. It's just all the women being there, so they have something to do, which I don't necessarily like, but it's there. Um, Another thing, the biggest thing, the thing that I wanted to talk about most was Kurt Angle cracked the case on who's been fucking with Enzo and Cass, and it was Cass. So Cass has been hitting Enzo, then like showing up later and be like, "Hey, what happened?" And he also faked his injuries, which was cool, but I don't know how I feel about what's gonna happen. When it happened, I was like, "Oh no way, fucking heel turn!" And we kind of read it for a few months now that they were gonna break him up. So now I'm just kind of guessing what's gonna happen with him. I want to talk to the guys and see what they say. I think probably Cass is gonna have maybe one blow off match with Enzo, and then he'll set up a Big Show thing. So Big Show will fight Big Cass, and then they'll form the Big Show and Enzo Cass, or the Big Show and Enzo tag team, which is cool because if it's anything like maybe something like the Hell No with Daniel Bryan and Kane, if it's something like that that's entertaining, I'm completely for it. But let's all see how that goes down. Now on to SmackDown. SmackDown was a weird one, just for the fact that they were addressing the women's Money in the Bank match. So one of the big things was uh, the rules uh, to the actual match, and it's a no disqualification match. So technically, Carmella still is the winner because she got her hands on the briefcase first. Um, so that'll come into play in the. It's pretty much the main event or the main talking point for the all of SmackDown. All the women have a little chat with Daniel Bryan, and it escalates into where he takes care of it in the ring. But as for matches, one of the cool matches, honestly, was Kevin Owens versus Chad Gable. So that was really weird. That Kevin Owens, of course, has the U.S. title, and it's the open challenge title. So anybody can challenge for it anytime. And he said, "This opening a challenge to anybody from Cleveland, I think, is where they were at." So uh, Chad Gable says that he just moved there and he has a title shot. And it was actually an entertaining match. You saw that Chad can work by himself, not just in a tag team where he's taking hot tags and all that kind of stuff. He can hold his own on a single. So I like that. Um, there was a Biggie and Jimmy Uso, but that one wasn't nothing too great there. Shinsuke beat Dolph Ziggler, so that was another. It was another good match. It's just, man, it's something about those two and the way that they work together. It's not as good as it could because they have fantastic matches with other people, but I don't know. So I don't know. I don't want to blame it on just Dolph, but it's just a weird thing that they have, weird chemistry. But then it was good to see Luke Harper. Luke Harper's back, so he fought Jinder, and Jinder won. So they kind of nipped that in the bud. But I like to see Luke Harper. I think he should be in the main event, going for that title. But we'll see what happens with Baron Corbin because Baron Corbin won that Money in the Bank. Now the one thing that they did do. Was they addressed the women's Money in the Bank, and it turns out that next week they're going to have a Money in the Bank, uh, a repeat basically, and I'm assuming James Ellsworth may be banned, but they didn't say anything about it. So it should be fun. I'm excited actually for next week because I want to see how that match turns out. I want to see if they're going to stick with Carmella or if they're going to have anybody else. 205 Live was actually pretty good. I like 205 Live. Um, Titus O'Neil is still trying to recruit Tozawa into the Titus brand. So he watched a match with Neville and Rich Swann. So that was a really good match. Those guys have a lot of chemistry there. So watch that match. We also have um, a new announcer on 205. Now, I haven't seen it in a couple of weeks, so I don't know when the switch was actually made, but it's now Corey Graves and some guy named Vic Joseph, which is. He he kind of looks like a stockier Corey Graves, so it's a bit weird, but he seems fine. He seems like he's still new to commentating, especially for 205, but it's really good there. And Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak, I just like those guys together. They have a good chemistry there. But that was pretty much. Tony Nese and Jack Gallagher had a good match, and Austin Aries is having an alliance now with Jack Gallagher. So what that means, I have no idea. But if it leads to maybe like a tag team that maybe goes beyond cruiserweights, that'd be fucking awesome. But we'll see how that goes. 205. So yeah, I like 205. But NXT, man, NXT was good stuff. They had Ember Moon actually came back, so Ember Moon had a match with Peyton Royce, and it was actually pretty good. I like that Widow's Peak from Peyton Royce. I thought that was a pretty good finisher. And when I first saw it, I was like, "Well, how does that hurt?" And then they did a replay where they actually show her clamping onto someone's neck. It's kind of weird because it's kind of like a going for like a backslide pin. So they're set up like that, and what she does is she grabs their kind of face and kind of pulls it down like in a stunner. So it actually was pretty cool. But Ember got the win, of course, with the Eclipse, which is one of the best finishing moves in all of WWE right now. It's just so. Uh, it looks like it hurts. You know what I mean? So it looks good. So that was a really fun match. And Eric Young, Alexander Wolf had a match with Ely Brothers, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not too sure. But actually, Eric Young and Alexander Wolf did win, but they kind of made a fact. They kind of pointed out that Killian Dane is maybe on his singles run. So that's really weird because I thought he would stay with the faction a bit, and I really don't want Sanity to go anywhere. Or maybe they can recruit some more people. That'd be really cool. Because Nikki Cross is kind of on her own too. She's going after Asuka, kind of stuff like that. Then we had Sonya Deville and Rachel Evers. I don't remember that match too well. I know one of them is the um, like the MMA chick, like she has like an MMA look. The other one, I'm not too sure about, to be honest with you. It was an okay match. I don't remember it too well, so can't be that great. It was just okay. But what we're talking about here is the main event, because the main event was Aleister Black versus Cassius Ohno. I was almost going to say Chris Hero there, but that was a awesome match, and they gave him like a full 20 minutes, so it was really good. Honestly, uh, those are two of my favorite guys, and I hope that they work a little more together because I think they could have some more great matches. If you want to see some other stuff, they had some good indie matches at like PWG, where Aleister Black was Tommy End and Cassius Ohno was Chris Hero. So you can check out those matches. They've had a ton of things. They were even a tag team, Death by Elbow. So that was really cool. I like that. Or no, it wasn't Death by Elbow. It was a Hero's End. Hero's End. That was a great tag team. I liked it. But there's also some big news that was announced today. Mauro is back. So if you know him, he was on the CWC. He's the guy that goes Tope Suicida. So if you remember him, he's coming back, and he's actually going to be on NXT. So I don't know how that's necessarily going to affect how it looks. I really hope that what's his name? Oh, Nigel McGuinness stays on there, just because I think he's really good there. I think he fits there perfectly. When it comes to um, Tom Phillips, I don't know if he's maybe just going to do SmackDown. I'm not too sure. It looks like that's what they're trying to do, which is good because having him fly out here there is a big hassle. I'm assuming, so I'm glad that Mauro Ranallo is back and he's on one of the best products that WWE is putting out consistently. I think he's gonna fit like a glove. Him and Nigel McGuinness, already that's fantastic. I don't know about the Corey. No, not Corey. That I don't remember his name. Brian was the only one that I remembered his name. The bald black guy that does commentary. Maybe he's going up to Raw or something. Maybe David Otunga's not coming back, but I'm not too sure. Um, and they announced some more uh, entrance into the Mae Young Classic, but that I'm going to hold off until next week because I really want to talk to the guys about that, and hopefully next week they'll have another batch that they'll be, uh, you know, announcing soon. But I really want to talk to the guys about that and who else they would want to see there. So we're going to hold off on that. And we're about 21 minutes in. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Grimworks channel. And also push that little bell button because that bell just lets you know when we put out new things. Now, if you're listening to this on iTunes, if you want to check us out on iTunes, I'm sorry, you can search us there, Grimworks, the same thing, and on iTunes as well. So SoundCloud and iTunes, we are on there as well. And if you're listening there, if you are listening on iTunes, rate, review, and subscribe there. It does help us out a lot, especially reviews, because honestly, we don't have any, and it helps us just to get out there with everything that we're putting out. Um, and if you want to contact us and you're not listening on YouTube, we do have an email at the moment. It's citypod88@gmail.com. And the title, put wrestling. You can ask us anything there. And that's pretty much it for this week. So this is Roman signing off. And go watch some wrestling, guys.